It will be difficult years ahead of us, maybe 5, maybe 10. But I really think that even European bureaucrats will see how beneficial is Bitcoin in other countries, and they will adopt it.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me this week is Matyáš. He is the co-founder of BTC Prague, a conference that I really want to make it to. I wish I could go this year. Matyáš, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Natalie. It's a pleasure to be here, and hello to all your listeners.
Well, I actually have a lot of listeners in Europe, so I'd love to talk to you a little bit about Bitcoin adoption on that continent. But specifically, let's start with Prague and Czech Republic. Why is this such a great place for Bitcoin adoption?
A good question, and I've been saying this story so many times now. So it's because of the time. If you are in Bitcoin long time, you get the conviction, and Czech was the Bitcoin capital since the very, very early days, because we had the founders of the first hardware wallet are from Prague. The first mining pool, Brains pool, was established in Prague. It was a slush pool, now Brains pool. Or the biggest ATM manufacturer, General Bytes, was also from Prague. So it started very early, and that gave us Czechs the escape velocity in Bitcoin technology. And because we were kind of freedom-loving folks always, I think that we have adopted Bitcoin very quickly. We are a small country of about 10 million inhabitants. And the best estimation is that 1 million of the people are somehow exposed to Bitcoin. So it's a 10% of the population. You can pay with Bitcoin in more than 1,000 restaurants in Czech. You can pay with Bitcoin in the biggest Czech retailer, Alza. So you can buy online pretty much anything you think about, and it just makes it so easy and so comfortable that people adopt it and they live on it, and they thrive on it. To be honest, you can see the real changes in people when they adopt this technology, and I'm sure that you have so many stories about that as well.
What do you think it is about Czech people that makes them really embrace this technology? Because I remember being very young, visiting what was then Czechoslovakia, and I feel like we have very similar backgrounds in terms of our country's history and the types of government we had and just dealing with oppression. And so maybe a freedom technology makes a little bit more sense to, to the people from our countries. But what do you think specifically it is?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. Yeah, but if I could pinpoint one thing, I think Czechs have been always a little bit geeky and people who like to make things. Yeah, they have like this craftsman culture. It's very, very normal in where I come from, because it used to be very difficult to get things on the market. So people had to find a way how to actually make nice things for their regular lives, for like furniture or something else what they needed every day. So this.
And can you explain why it was so hard to get that on the market for people who don't know?
Yeah, well, so we've been under the communist regime for 40 years, and that pretty much closed our borders and market, that we couldn't get things from West, and it was very inefficient. So like the equality, what they wanted to achieve was not very successful. And just one quick example was that we had a lot of ketchup and for example the glasses what you can put the ketchup in, but we didn't have any lids. So wow. Yeah, and no, those are just like stories from my parents, and it was really horrible time. And it's good that we are behind it, but it's also very sad that I can see now that some people forget how bad was it, and they are still voting for this communist party. And this I think this kind of made Czech people a little bit against authority, like not trusting the authority, and that simply puts Bitcoin in a good light.
Next up, a quick word about my friends at Bitwise. They've been educating investors on Bitcoin for more than 7 years, have over $10 billion in client assets, and a team of 100 plus. Their weekly newsletter is a must read. It's written by their CIO, Matt Hogan, one of the best minds in the business. I highly recommend it. It's witty, bold, and quick. Takes just 5 minutes to read each week. So head over to bitwiseinvestments.com/CIO memo. And always, of course, carefully consider the extreme risks associated with crypto. Don't forget to join me in BTC Vegas this May and attend the 4th annual Women of Bitcoin Brunch. Use code HODL for 10% off your pass. So essentially the adoption in Czech Republic, it's higher than other countries, right? Because sometimes you hear about places like the UK or others that have really come down on Bitcoin, especially the government authorities. But it seems like even the central bank in the Czech Republic, I heard they were considering Bitcoin. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. The adoption in other countries can be somewhere between 3 to 5%, and who knows? It's very hard to actually establish some educated guess. So I'm guessing because our Czech Bitcoin influencer has more followers in Czech language than the German one, with
Wow.
8 times more inhabitants in Germany. And if you add another countries which are speaking German, it's maybe 16 times more people. And still, this Czech-speaking influencer Kitsom, with his little channel, has 100,000 followers in Bitcoin only. So,
Wow.
The second part of your question about the central bank, Aleš Michal, the governor of Czech central bank, I think he understands Bitcoin very well. And even though he wasn't very fond of Bitcoin the years before, now when he sees that the Bitcoin is being legitimized in worldwide, he feels that this is an opportunity. And he used to be an investment banker, so he knows how to manage money, and he feels the opportunity. So it's just about the time that we will see Czech National Bank adopting Bitcoin. I really believe it will happen, but who knows when.
Can you tell us a little bit about your own Bitcoin journey, how you found it, and why it was so important for you to work in this space?
First time. So I have two stories, like everyone. When I first time heard about it but didn't get it, that was in 2011. I was a part of Occupy Wellington movement. It was very similar to the Occupy Wall Street, but so we were just like staying in front of the government building in Wellington, and I really loved this anarcho-capitalistic feel there. And there was a tent, and they had a Bitcoin logo on it, and they were talking about Bitcoin. So I went there, I listened something, and I really didn't get it. Even though I have I have a school of economic university, I have the background, but nothing ring the bell. And so 7 years later, in 2017, before the big bull run, I was introduced to this again by my friend. And then it was a very classic story. Went for Bitcoin, but thought that there will be something more better. So I went to this altcoin trading craziness, and that led me to Bitcoin only journey, which started probably in 2020. After I've lost all the money on shitcoins, I kind of learned the hard way.
Well, we've all been there. We all have to learn that
Yeah,
lesson,
exactly.
understanding why Bitcoin is so special. So, what led you to creating this conference? I want to talk a little bit about this event because you're on the third year, I believe, right?
Yes. Mhm.
2025. Michael Saylor has always been a headliner at this event, and it's really difficult to put on conferences. I know that from just putting on a women's brunch. I can't imagine what it's like to put on a multi day international conference. So I want to hear just like the genesis of BTC Prague and what it's like to actually put on the biggest Bitcoin event in
Mhm.
Europe, I believe,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it is the biggest Bitcoin event in Europe with 10,000 people, 200 speakers. It's 4 day long. We have an expo with 100 companies, and I think that we've been recognized as like one of the top Bitcoin conferences in the world.
Mhm.
And I've been very proud about what we've achieved with my brother because it's a family business. And it all started in 2019-ish when I was visiting some crypto conferences and I saw that there is nothing like this in Czech Republic. So we've decided that we will organize some event, and we had an event background. I've organized many events because I was working in hospitality, and my brother, he comes from IT business, and he was visiting many conferences. So we kind of connected on this, and the first conference happened in the COVID time. So it was very difficult to meet. It was a lockdown, and we were postponing the dates, and we kind of we were very lucky. So we picked the date when it was allowed to meet, but this window was very short. It was like 10 days, and we kind of made it. We were not scared. We let the people sign some paper which was not even valid by the law, and they show up. We had 500 people on Bitcoin only Czech speaking conference, and that
Hmm.
gave us a very good starting ground because no one else was doing this. So the year after we doubled, we had 1,000 people. The year after we had 2,000 people, still Czech speaking only. So we kind of became the biggest Bitcoin, non-English speaking Bitcoin conference in the world. And we've been already approached by numerous of other Bitcoin businesses from all around the world because we are traveling, we are meeting other people. They've recognized the market in Europe and Czech, and they wanted to come, those people and companies, but we didn't want to jeopardize the Czech kind of very special culture what we've created. So we decided that we will do one more conference, and that's BTC Prague. So in 2023 we kind of launched it, but no one knew us in the world. Yeah, we were quite established here in Czech Republic in our community, but not in the world. So I remember we were just like putting the numbers on the paper with my brother, and then we were just scared that we will not meet this number. But on the first year, we had 6,500 people,
Wow.
100 companies, and Michael Saylor came. So this was a great great success, and since that time we are growing. And this year, I can already say, because we just announced it last week, that we will be doing one more conference, and that's BTC in DC in Washington DC. It's gonna be in September, September 30 to October 1st, and that's really really interesting because if you asked me a few years ago, I would never tell you that this is possible. And it's because Bitcoin is a level up technology. You just need to do whatever you like with Bitcoin, and it catapults you to different space, the journey you would never imagine. And I love what we are doing. It's the conference business is really crazy. It's vibrant, it's electric. And maybe let me tell you a little bit about the DC conference, because the thing that this happened is very important. Mm, we've been ridiculed, like Bitcoiners been ridiculed by politicians and the state for many years. But this year, finally, Bitcoin has been legitimized, and not only by politicians and institutions, but also by academia. So we've partnered with George Washington University to organize this event, which is a flagship for Bitcoin building, which will be in a campus of of George Washington University. So they want to establish academia about Bitcoin with certificates, summer schools, diplomas, professorships, and everything what is kind of normal for academia, which is amazing. And this conference is a flagship because we know that we need to educate people, and especially people in power in Washington D.C., where the future will be made. And so it's very exciting, and I'm proud to be part of it and play a little role in it.
This episode is brought to you by Casa, the leader in Bitcoin self-custody solutions, helping people like me secure their wealth with simple, powerful, multi-key vaults. And now Casa is here to help businesses and even governments do the same. Introducing Casa Business, a secure, easy-to-use 3-key vault designed for small and large businesses with team signing capabilities and a web dashboard. Start your Bitcoin treasury the secure way and protect your assets. Get 10% off your Casa plan at casa.io/Natalie. Up next, Bitkey. Bitkey is a Bitcoin hardware wallet with multi-sig security, inheritance, and a recovery system designed for real life. No complex setup, no seed phrase, just true self-custody without the stress. It was named one of Time's best inventions in 2024. Use code STORIES for 20% off at bitkey.world. Next up, the Bitcoin way. Bitcoin is only freedom money if you control it fully. The Bitcoin Way can help you learn the skills to properly secure your Bitcoin in 100% self-custody with zero counterparty risk. Go to thebitcoinway.com/Natalie to speak one-on-one with the best experts. Your security and sovereignty are priceless, so don't gamble with your future and peace of mind. Want to reach millions of Bitcoin users? Speed Wallet makes it easy. Launch your app on Speed's mini app store. Publish your app in hours, no coding needed. You can also accept Bitcoin payments effortlessly with Speed. Ready to grow? Publish on Speed today. Visit speed.app. Well, Matyáš, I have to ask, I mean, you're not American. Why do you want to plan a conference in Washington, D.C. with our political powers here?
Yeah, well, I've been just hired to put it together from the production part mostly, and because the people from George Washington University, they recognize that we are very well connected in Bitcoin scene, because we've been creating the program quite well. We've been always Bitcoin only and very hardcore, and this kind of established a very good reputation. So me and my brother with BTC Prague, we kind of take care about just the Bitcoin part of the thing, and then we have many other people who are Americans who know about politics, who know how to advocate for Bitcoin properly, and those people are just a part of the project and will make sure that that it's done properly, because of course I am an Eastern European and I'm more to the cypherpunk and anarcho-capitalistic part of the movement, but I know that we need to make this step.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your perspective on the Bitcoin market or cycle based on planning a conference, because I feel like you see it from behind the scenes a little bit more. I remember the first conferences I attended in 2021 during that epic bull run, and it felt crazy. I mean, from every corner, people were just throwing money at these, and you could tell we were actually in this euphoria of a bull market. What is it like now? Because it's a little uncertain and volatile in this market. And I imagine that creates some challenges for putting on a very big, expensive event like a Bitcoin conference.
Yeah, it's a good question. Of course, Bitcoin price helps. If there is a bull run, people are spending more and they are coming, and same with the companies. And I don't feel that yet. It's been better than last year. I certainly can tell that. But I think that we are still waiting for the bull run. It will come, but who knows when? If it's before the BTC Prague or after, Who knows? But anyway, we are kind of we are still very small conference, like 10,000 people. It seems big, but it's it's a good number of people, because we feel confident that we can kind of make it through just with the most hardcore Bitcoiners. We could grow up to 30,000 people, but we didn't choose to go this path to be a huge circus. We rather stay kind of in the medium size, but very well attended with just the people who really love Bitcoin, and that makes the event really great.
So let's play devil's advocate. If you're watching this or listening to it and you think, I can watch all these talks online and the conference tickets, there's a conference every single week, it feels like, very expensive tickets. I'd rather save my Bitcoin. What's your pitch to people who feel like, I'll just stay home and watch the live stream?
I think that the only person who can tell that is someone who never been to conference. Because once you've been to conference, you know that the real value is in networking and in getting the conviction. Because you can watch all the talks from the recording, and of course, even I watch everything from the recording, because when I'm on the conference, I want to talk to people. Yeah. So, like, watching the talks and the program is just one part of the equation. The most important is the conviction. If you get the conviction, you can buy more Bitcoin, and you feel good. You can sleep after that. And the second thing is the networking. You meet people, and if you want to perhaps get a job in Bitcoin, that's how you do it. You go there, you talk to people who you follow, you can meet them there. They would never reply you online, perhaps. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. But at the conference, everyone is friendly, smiling. You can chat, you can discuss things. And it's just a huge celebration. I mean, it's being surrounded by so many people with similar thinking. It's something what you can't get from the computer.
Well, I'm living proof of the getting work from a conference, because I went to BTC Miami in 2021, not expecting for my podcast to become my career. And lo and behold, exactly what you said, I was able to meet some of the people who ended up becoming my mentors and future guests. And there's nothing like being in person and having the chance to meet people whose values you align with, who just love Bitcoin, and you get to just experience getting to talk to people that love the same thing as you, which sometimes, depending on where you live, you don't really get that in your day-to-day life. I mean, I live in Missouri, and I've really tried hard to get everyone around me to be interested in Bitcoin. I've succeeded with some, but for the majority, they're just still not really into it and don't want to spend a whole weekend talking about it. But I do. I want to spend a weekend with Bitcoiners. Well, anything else that you want to share ahead of BTC Prague 2025? What do you have in store that's maybe different and special that people can look forward to?
Yeah, good question. So for this year, we have a new format for the main stage, and that's Oxford-style debates. So we are preparing two very juicy debates. It's like 2 versus 2 with a moderator, with a kind of like very specific way how to run this debate. And the first one, the topic is institutions versus cypherpunks.
Oh, wow.
And the second one is who is really of control of Bitcoin. So this is something what I believe will bring very interesting points, important to discuss. And I witnessed this kind of format before, and it's very entertaining. So it's worth coming and watch. Every day we have one debate, and this is, if I could pick one single part of the program, it's really this.
Do you need me to come debate Peter Schiff about gold?
Well, I would love to. we have to plan this for 2026.
So what's it like when you are planning these panels? Because I mean, I feel like it's really difficult to create new topics or just kind of new conversation pieces that people haven't heard over and over again if you've been in the Bitcoin community for a while now. I mean, that's certainly the challenge with podcasts, right? It's like, how do you talk about something completely new? Is it more like news focused, or what's happened in terms of regulation and adoption? How do you make the panels new?
Okay, yeah. So, like, the basics are still same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Self custody, like freedom part of the movement, open source technology, the money. It's still same. It's just a little bit different. It evolves. So I'm listening many podcasts. I'm going around the conferences, watching what I like, and then I make the program. So I kind of like it, and I feel I have a good sense of each of the spectrum, and then I'm just watching what people kind of enjoy and where is the trend. So for example, this year is about money mostly, because it's everyone feels the bull market, and people there will be many newbies because of the bull market. And what the newbies usually like about Bitcoin, the money part of the movement. They come for money,
Number go up.
yeah, and stay for the technology. So we are answering the questions what people ask, and BTC Prague is about empowering individuals. So the part what I believe is special in Prague, and that's when I talk to some speaker, I always encourage them to come up with actionability, because I believe that everyone has something interesting to tell, but only if the attendees can take it and start using it. That's when they get the value, because there are so many interesting things in the world, but if you start using it and it makes you better, or it makes you more effective in any way, that's when the real magic happens, when the people feel they want to come again.
Are the economics of a Bitcoin conference challenging? Because I'm sure there are people watching or listening to this who would love to start something where they live. There are still so many places where I've never been to a Bitcoin event. I haven't heard of one. But I would imagine that putting on an event like this, I mean, this isn't like the
Yeah,
easiest thing, right?
it's very difficult. It's brutal business. It's like mining, but it's maybe even more difficult. The competition is huge, and the upfront costs are very high.
Really?
So we've been doing it for 4 years in loss. We've been supporting it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
You've been operating at a loss all 4 years.
4 years.
So
Yes.
how do you keep that going?
Well, it's the thing what we knew that we need to do.
Mm.
Yeah, we kind of we trusted our long-term plan, and it's been now paying off finally. But it's been very, very difficult. We had to believe in us, and because we have a very small team, we are able to be profitable. But yeah, it's a rough game, I have to say. But this is what I personally like about it. It's not easy. It's very difficult, and I think that if it's something difficult, that makes you grow even more.
Yeah. So this is the first year you'll be profitable?
Second one. Last
Wow.
year we've been kind of on the zero, that we knew that we can pay our team through the whole
Wow.
year.
Wow. Yeah, it's so challenging. Just going back to the idea of Europe embracing Bitcoin, what do you think is the biggest challenge? Because there seems to be sort of a bifurcation depending on the nation. Some are looking at Bitcoin as something that can be a tool for freedom and human rights, and even for the nation to maybe get out of debt. And others are just looking at it from a very authoritarian point of view and wanting to block everything and block mining and block self custody. So, do you think that this is actually going to create more tensions across the continent?
Good question. Um, I'm not the expert in this, and I'm starting to be hopeful, at least for Czech
Mm,
Republic, because I can
mm,
see the change is happening here. But in other
yeah,
countries, it's very bad. Now
yeah.
introducing CBDC, central bank digital currencies,
Hmm.
which is like authoritarian and absolutely against the freedom. And we are lucky that we have Czech kron. Yeah, we have our own currency. We don't have Europe, so that makes me hopeful. And it will be difficult years ahead of us, maybe 5, maybe 10. But I really think that the game theory will play out, the geopolitical game theory, that even European bureaucrats will see how beneficial is Bitcoin in other countries, and they will adopt it. But it will take more time. And you know why I'm hopeful? Because the leaders of from Brussels, they are very old. They won't last too long.
Yeah, the younger generations will embrace this
Yeah.
if they come to positions of leadership. Prague is just such a beautiful place. It really is one of my favorite places that I've ever visited. Isn't it true that it wasn't bombed during World War II because of its beauty, really?
Well, I don't know why, but yeah, it's true that it wasn't bombed, so it retained the historical artifacts, and it is beautiful. It's like a little Paris, but more medieval.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
clock. Oh my gosh, the clock tower. I remember going for a run in the morning and having one of the best cappuccinos I've ever had close by to that town center. It's just such a beautiful place. I hope everyone checks out the conference. Any final thoughts or anything else you want to share?
No, thank you for inviting me to talk to. It was really a pleasure, and I just hope that I will see all the real Bitcoiners in Prague, June 19 to 21st. It's gonna be a huge celebration, and I'm very confident to say that everyone who will come will level up with us this year.
It's on my list. I have to make it there very soon, hopefully to share my book with everyone. But thank you so much, Matyáš, for sharing your time. And I will link the conference tickets below for both Prague as well as BTC in DC in September. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Coin Stories. Make sure you're subscribed to the show so you don't miss any new episodes. If you can, turn on those notifications and leave us a positive review. They really help the show grow organically with new listeners. We have a free weekly newsletter. Sign up at thenewsblock.substack.com. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing should constitute as official investment advice, and you should always do your own research. I'm always open to feedback and guest suggestions, so please feel free to reach out at info@talkingbitcoin.com. I'll see you next time.